Poem's titled, Can I Be Black? Can I be black without being followed around the store as if I'm going to steal a product without paying for it? Can I be black without the negative statistics attached to me as if I'm not my own person? Can I be black without dribbling a ball or rocking a mic as if those are the only professions that defines a black man's success? Can I be black while running or walking down the street in a suburban area without being told I don't belong there? Can I be black without being judged by the way I act, speak, or conduct myself? Can I be black to have my sons see me grow old and decrepit, for me to be present at their weddings? Can I be black without having my life cut short because of after the 400 years of horrendous memories seeped into this earth? Can I be black without having fear in every choice I make? Even when I'm wrong, I still deserve a second chance. Can I be black because I didn't choose this, but it chose me? So I will carry my blackness with grace and authenticity. Can I be black? Yes, I will be black, unapologetically, because being black is me.
All right.
Yep.
So I wanted to put that in there because I was like, you know what? This is something that a lot of individuals face. And
Absolutely.
that right there could give a lot of people validation. Like, look, it doesn't just happen to you. It's something that comes with the territory. When you have a lot of strength and power, a lot of people will be scared of you. What's up? Are you gonna kiss?
Facts.
Or you just putting them down there?
Because if he wakes up and realizes that you get new.
Yeah. One second. I gotta give my little one some love.
Nothing wrong with that. That's what matters.
Out. Sleep over, bro. He is gone. Cheese and bread. Yep. He got school tomorrow. My man snoring. But yes, what I wanted to say was that right there, that poem can validate a lot of individuals. And the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis, a lot of people don't speak about it. And I mean, especially when it comes down to the melanated men. A lot of us do not speak about things. We hold things in, and we actually are unaliving ourselves early based off of the fact that all the trauma and things that we're holding on to, not releasing it, it's causing disease in our body. And then when you add on to the foods that we eat in this country, with all these preservatives and toxins that go into us, with us not understanding our blood types, not understanding how that plays a part in what we can and should not eat, not taking care of ourselves, getting the exercise we need, and actually going out into the world, getting that socialization, that right there is a big part of our community as well. From the beginning of time, we would sit around telling stories. We would always be joking. We would always have that community around us. Now it's like we have how Priestess Amani said and Mr. Sigmundo said in the previous episode. Back in the day, you used to be able to talk to your neighbors. You used to be able to go over there, like, can I get a cup of sugar? I need some milk, or I'm making a cake, or somebody new moved in. You can go next door and be like, introduce yourself. Now we are so afraid of one another to where we don't take the time to find out who is good, who is not. We just assume that everybody's out to get us. What did Medea say? I'm going to get them before they get me. I ain't going to get got. We have to change that mindset. We have to change that mentality, because all we're doing is causing more harm in the long run. Because what are our children seeing when we're doing these things? Now they're going to think that's normal. It's just going to get worse and worse over time. So we play a major part. And anybody who knows me knows that I love to say my favorite saying from Michael Jackson: if you want to make the world a better place, you must first look in the mirror and be that change. Yeah, I said it. I mean, true talking no lie. We are amazing people, and everything that we do has a purpose. Some people may see it as good, some people may see it as bad, but when it comes down to energy, there isn't good and bad, because there's things that I may do for my family that people may think that I'm doing wrong, or somebody may think that I'm doing wrong. But then later on in life, they'll see how that played out and turned out to be a good thing, because it set us up for where we need to be. So just because I'm doing things that may not agree with what you might not agree with your values and beliefs, or you think that I should have did it a different way, puss and dog don't look alike. What may work for one may not work for another. What I do might not work for you, and what you do may not work for me, but it may work for you. So do what you do. And I mean, that's trial and error. I may have done this trial and error already, and I already know what will work for me and mine, you know? But the biggest thing is community. Every time things come back to community and the children, the way that we are talking to our children, the way that we are treating our children, the things that we say around our children, everything should not be said around children, because they soak in everything. They're always listening. They're always watching. Mr. Samani, I have to thank you. You passed a lot of knowledge tonight. That was a lot of things that I'm sure that quite a few of us did not know about. And this is the reason I enjoy doing this podcast. The reason why I love having the panels is because of the fact that we all know something that somebody else does not know. We all bring something to the table. There's a lot of individuals who think, oh, I'm so dumb, or there's some people who think that they know everything. And then when you end up informing them of things they don't know, some people may take it as in, what are you doing, love? Nah, love you too. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Why are we such creeps? Oh, our love style is so great. Anyway. Knock me off track. Somebody bring me back. Sorry. See, like,
you might tell someone that they
it's like where was I?
You might share something with someone who thinks
yes.
they know a lot, and
yes, you may share something with someone who thinks that they know everything, or they're so smart and think that they're smarter than everybody else, and they may take that as a humbling time to listen, or they may take it as in you're attacking them and their intelligence. So with it, I think the saying goes, a wise man is the one who realizes he knows nothing. The fool is the one who thinks he knows everything. When it comes down to that word nigga, a lot of the way that I was taught was that means ignorant. Now with it, I think I had said this a couple times to a couple people. I was like, I'd rather deal with an ignorant person than a stupid person, because a stupid stands for you don't know and you're not willing to learn. Ignorant is you don't know but you're willing to learn. So if you're willing to learn, I will deal with that. Now, that's also how I kind of find the silver lining. So when someone's like, "Oh, you nigga," and they say it like in a negative way, I'm just like, okay, you see the growth and potential in me. Yes. So I reverse it on them. They look at me like, the hell? Like when people sometimes will try and put me down or things along those lines, I'm constantly trying to find the silver lining. Just because of the fact that I battle myself enough. I'm not going to sit here and try and battle you also, you know? I'm like, I'm dealing with my own, and I know you're dealing with your demons, and whatever you're shooting on me is most likely a projection, but keep that over there. I'm going to take it, find how I can work with that, push forward, because most likely you see something in me that I probably do not see in myself. And if I do see it in myself, then I'm going to go ahead and let you know, like, all right, thank you. I know I'm pretty cool at this or whatever, whoop-de-woo, and keep on moving. So now you just gave me an opportunity to give myself that self-compassion and that self-love. And I thank you for that. Rather than sitting here and trying to fight you on it, that puts out too much energy. Like, it's a lot harder to fight someone than to flow with them. And Mr. Nice Guy, you're doing jiu-jitsu now. You understand. Use their energy and their momentum against them.
100%.
What you have Taekwondo or Judo background? I think it was Taekwondo because I used to mess with you with your snap kicks.
No,
so, yeah.
No. I hold two black belts. I hold a black belt in Shotokan karate and American Taekwondo.
Okay.
We used to get into it you used to debate about karate over Muay Thai, but history has shown karate's better, so we don't even talk about it no more. So it's not even up for debate.
Hey, when it comes down to it, if me and you are walking down the street, nobody's gonna want to mess with either one of us.
Oh, that'd be the biggest mistake they make in their fucking life.
Yeah, that would be a fun time. So either way, it doesn't matter. We all have our flaws and we all have our different ways. But when it comes down to it, we're gonna fuck them up.
Yes. By hook or by crook. Yep, by hook.
I really enjoyed this episode. Princess Amani, Oh man, I wanted to go down the list, and you came out was like, no, we started at the end, my guy. I was like, I had this planned out. I was like, I had it planned out, and I literally had it started off where I wanted to hit those topics. I wanted to start off and like, all right, cool, let's get all these ideas out of the way, and then let's talk about what it is. And you came in was like, no, we starting about what it is. Like I was just like,
hey, the
okay,
truth is an offense, but it's not a shame.
No, I loved it. Also, Mr. Nice Guy, you still have it written down. You said you want to play devil's advocate to something that Mr. Signalino said. I didn't want to cut him off, and with that, I'm cutting you off. What was it that you wanted to say?
I'm looking at my notes now. I wrote it down somewhere, but then Priestess was saying a lot of stuff. She took up a whole page. So
I'm sorry.
no, I lost it. It's okay. I think no, don't need to apologize for sharing wisdom. Sigma,
Yeah.
I think what it was, the only challenge I had was here it is. And you already answered it. When you were talking about erasing who you are, or when they try to erase who you are based on your ability to stand up or be that impactful individual, that being a sense of control. And as soon as I said that, you didn't argue, you agreed with it. It's like, yes. So there was it's just acknowledgement. So yeah, that was it.
I want to get back because I don't think that we really had went over very much what Anaya had said. How do you protect your children from the consequences of false perceptions?
Case by case.
I know Mr. Nice Guy
Case by
had
case.
briefly on it. And what are some solutions that we can provide? Because I can talking with your children, I feel like affirming them on what's going on. Like with me, I'm gonna let the kids know, like, all right, cool. You're going to be hated for no reason when you step outside this house.
No, I wouldn't even tell them
Just
that.
for existing.
I wouldn't even tell them that. Just be consistent with your standards. They'll find themselves when you're consistent with your standards. If you start teaching them negative, they're going to look in the negative direction.
Mm-hmm.
Just be consistent with your standards and keep putting the standards in them, or even make them repeat it. Like with the young adults that I work with, we do SCI standards, and we read through SCI standards every time we get together. And it's better than even tell them about anything negative, because they'll remember that standard. That's the way that they conduct themselves. And if they conduct themselves, and not saying that they're going to encounter anything negative, but when they do, they know how to deal with it based on your standards. Just keep with the standard.
What I was about to roll into is exactly what Sharice said. Tell them the truth. Tell them their history. I was going to inform them, like, when you step outside this house, you're going to be looked at any type of way. With that, that's because they understand the power that you have. They understand, they see in you what they don't have themselves. They understand the strength that you have, and I was going to go into that because ultimately, I don't want them to mess around and get sidelines when they end up dealing with that stuff, because that right there, if they already, and the way that I'm thinking, if they already know, like, okay, this can happen, then it's like when it does happen, it's still going to be shocking, but at least they already know, like, okay, I've been warned about this. I don't want it to be where they're thinking like, oh, the world is such a jolly great place. Like, I don't want them going out into the world thinking the movie Trolls. What's her name? The girl troll that's just like, oh yeah, life is everything is great. And if something bad happens, they're like, what the fuck? I thought everything was. Yeah, no. It's like you need to be aware of I feel that you need to be aware of these things, because I don't want to see my kids cry, but I know that's going to happen. I don't want to see these things happen, but we are in the South. There is going to be some times of racism. There is going to be some things that they are going to deal with, and nobody gives you a handbook on parenting. But I feel that's the best thing to do is have them prepared for it. Is that a wrong way to think?
No, I mean, the way you raise your children, ultimately, that's the way you're going to raise your children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I choose to love my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and I give her so much love that is her protection. And it's easy for her to identify hate. It's easy for her to identify a false friend. It's easy
Mm-hmm.
for her to identify jealousy, regardless of race. Because a lot of times it's our own that we have to be precautious of in some ways, especially when it comes to
Mm,
children.
Frenemies.
Um,
mm,
so I overall protect my daughter, but I also teach her um, the brilliance of who she is as an
Mm-hmm.
individual. And then I teach her the brilliance of who she is because of who she comes from,
Mm.
in which she can already see that every day because I try to demonstrate what it means to be brilliant.
mm.
Me and my daughter have conversations. How was your day? What did you notice? What did you observe? And that puts my daughter's 8 years old. That puts her in the mindset of processing things. Well, when someone said this, it didn't seem right. What do you think they meant by that? Now I'm getting her to tap into her discernment, her intuition. I think it's important just to have conversations with your children overall, and
Absolutely.
don't
Yes.
Absolutely.
make their existence based on hatred. Don't make their existence based on the false reality that they create around us. So when she said, teach your children the truth, teach them the truth about who they are, not
Mhm.
about who they are or what they did. And that alone is a protection. My daughter went to
Right
school
to
one
they.
day, and a little white girl told her that she couldn't sit by her because she was black. And the little girl wasn't my daughter's friend. She was calling the little girl her best friend. And my daughter wasn't hurt by it. She was a little bit shocked by it. But then again, she wasn't, because we were learning civil rights. We were learning about Rosa Parks and all this other stuff. Um, so I had to teach my daughter about racism in a case like that where she experienced it head on. I had to teach my child about gender identity in these days and time, and um, but I do my
Sure.
best to protect my child from being exposed to certain things, but
Okay.
it's everywhere, right? So it got to the point where I had to address it. So I just say have an open, transparent relationship with your children, and you ultimately know what your children need, but try not to have them understand themselves and their existence based on fear or precaution of what someone else thinks about them, because that stops
Absolutely.
us from having leaders, that stops us from
Mhm.
having courage.
Okay.
Teach your children not to give a
Sure.
fuck.
Sure. Sure.
Being
Um,
unapologetic to
and
themselves. Go ahead.
piggybacking on that, um, you hit the nail on the head when you said communication is key. When it comes to any and all topics, there is no subject that is beyond a conversation or discussion in my home with my 9-year-old son. And in teaching him how to properly communicate and advocate for his own feelings, he is, I'm going to just say, amazing, if not brilliant, when it comes to expressing himself articulately. Um, his level of self-esteem and self-worth, I'm not going to say it's arrogant or cocky, but he's proud of who he is based on how he views himself. And like, I'll give you an example. He a couple weeks ago, he was taking the trash out, okay? And he's 9, and he's a husky boy. You know what I'm saying? He's a big boy. And he's walking out there, no shirt on, you know what I'm saying, his shorts and flip flops. And I'm thinking it's cold outside. I'm like, son, you gonna put a shirt on or something like that because it's cold? He's like, nah, dad, I'm gonna go out here and show the world what a real man looks like. I'm like, wow. I said, whoa. He has a Pooh Bear like body, but my son thinks he's a hunk. He does jujitsu. He knows he's strong. He walks out there and says he'll do the giddy. I mean, he is just a pillar of positivity. A couple days ago, my wife brought something to my attention. She said, because we just had our 13-month-old, and she is put on weight, which I don't care about. Saying if you give me a child, I don't care how big you get. So I'm gonna love you forever. So she was telling that to our son, how mommy's been putting on some weight, she's trying to lose, and this. He's asking her, why are you so concerned about your weight? He's like, well, because people, get upset and judge people by the way they are. And my son was dumbfounded. He's like, people hate people for being big? Are you kidding me? What? And he just couldn't get over it because he's so proud of who he is. He didn't even think about that. Like, what? It holds you back? My son be breakdancing. He be doing the splits. He's in the Spanish immersion program, so all his friends are Mexican and black. So he's speaking Spanish. He's doing it all. So he doesn't know many limitations. And I'm trying to keep motivating that to let him know that the sky is the limit, but to recognize the boundaries that are necessary in preserving who you are, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I'm with you 100% on that, Priestess. Show them and practice that and live by example, and that's what me and my wife do on the daily. And it's speaking volumes in his character.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And he said, what? People judge you?
He's like, what? People hate you because you're fat. Yeah, he don't give a damn.
I love the honesty that children have, and I love the innocence in them. And I mean, just sitting there talking like with my kids, my daughter, she loves to talk. She will talk about everything and nothing all at the same time. And I mean, sitting down and having conversations with her and seeing how her mind works, it's just, it makes me smile. And sometimes it gets to me because I'm just like, when did I lose mine? And so therefore it makes me just like, okay, cool. I want to get that back because you're so much more happy when you don't care, When you don't have a care in the world and you're doing what makes you happy, like when you are your authentic self, which is usually that type of mindset. I'm like, to be able to sit there and someone comes and says something to you and you're like, okay, like just keep on going. It's like, it's a good feeling, Like I do that sometimes. Like sometimes I'll sit there, me and my wife will be in Walmart and I'll just grab like one of those little pool noodles or something and just do something random. And she's like, what that? And I don't care who's telling me. It popped in my mind and I'm working on this thing where when I think of something, I do it. So it's like if I'm walking somewhere and I'm just like, I want to do push-ups, I'll just drop and do push-ups. It's like I'm trying to work on that discipline with myself. I think about it, do it right then and there. So that way I can get rid of that procrastination level that I have in me. Because I mean,
until you land on some hot sticky gum.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Now look at that. I can do different movements. I'm trying to fill that off myself. It's cool.
Lee, I get where you're coming from. As a practicing martial artist, there's been times people look at me funny when I walk around twirling, doing kicks, whatever, like that. That's how you get better. I never give a damn, and I really don't give a fuck. But I'll say this: when my son likes me to do something, I notice that it elevates times 10. I don't know what it is. If my son says, "Hey, Daddy, I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to bust into a dance," you know what I'm saying? And if you want to join me, but I'm going to do this because I feel it's a good time to dance. Now, I don't know if this is just the father in me. I don't know if it's parental. I don't know because I've only had 2 children. Okay. But it's something about if my son invites me to do something that's going to challenge him, I can't let him do it alone. Whether it's dancing, fighting, I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but I have to be there. If he says, "Dad, we're going to go to the swing and the slide," and I want to slide with you, well, I got to go. I got to slide with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think, and Priestess, correct me, Priestess. I believe that's the type of love and encouragement that's necessary. You know what I'm saying? To keep that going.
Absolutely.
To preserve it. So yeah, I love it.
You keep saying something. You keep talking about preservation. Teach your children self-preservation.
For me, yes.
That's basically all it is. Self-preservation.
Absolutely, 100%. And when sorry, go ahead, please.
I was gonna say House of Slytherin all day.
So another thing I was going to elaborate on. When I say case by case scenario. I was going to elaborate on is case by case scenarios because when things happen and come my way, I choose to put and invest the energy then instead of doing sometimes my wife do is over anticipate it and then have this perpetual sense of worry. I'm like, baby, no, we can only deal with things as they come. Because I can be concerned too about what about the one kid that decides that he's gonna pick on my son because he's fat. Okay, my son ain't gonna have it. I already know. He's not even gonna recognize it because he don't even see himself as fat. He's like, I can do the splits. I can run a mile, Dad. I can do 50 push-ups. He don't think he's unhealthy.
Fit doesn't mean skinny.
Yes.
Exactly. No. Exactly, priestess. I know this.
I'm fit.
I know this.
I don't look like it.
Oh man. Oh. I understand completely what you mean. And look, me and Lee being in the military, we've seen a lot of people with perceived muscle and show muscles that fold like cheap laundry as soon as they hit their bread basket. I didn't see it. I've done it multiple times. Okay, for real.
Strength and no endurance.
For real.
Yep.
So those muscles, those show muscles, don't intimidate and stress me out at all. And I think I portrayed that to my son enough to where it's like, that don't mean baby. Like,
you got skinny people who are strong as mess.
Yes, yes, for no reason. So I tell my son all the time.
Looks will fool you.
Yeah. So, I think that's what my son gets it from.
I remember I was in high school and I was doing SOPs. We had a competition on the other side of the island, and there was this one kid. I think he was like Hawaiian Samoan. He was some kind of Polynesian, and we had to run. I think it was like pretty much 7 miles. It was like 3.5 miles back, 3.5 miles down. So yeah, 7 miles. Man, we got done, and his team came in like 3 after us, but he was leading the team. He was running and singing. Brother had took his shirt off, stomach swinging left and right. I mean, everything was going everywhere. But I mean, this dude got done. He was like, look, the only thing that stopped me from picking you up was the fact that I knew you could do it. And he was not out of breath or anything. I'm like, you just got done running 7 miles. You still got all this energy. I was like, my God, and that's what I learned. I was like, you know what? It does not matter how big you are, how small you are. I was like, you have that determination, and you are constantly working at it. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, I've seen wise ones to where I gotta say they have an advantage though. Those fools are like ogres. They got layers. I fought a couple of them, and then you get hit them. They're like, and they get excited. You're like, man, I gotta kick you in the balls or something.
Yeah.
Hit you with a brick, and you still like, okay.
The balls might be conditioned too.
The werewolves, I don't know, but I mean, it's interesting how in society we have this idea based off the image of individuals. So it's like you have a lot of people who are like, oh, they're fat. No, they might not be fat. They might have a thyroid issue, but I'm sure that they can probably do the same things you can do or even more. Like, we need to get out of this idea of judging people based off of the way they look or what we think based off of what has been said about a certain type of not individual. I guess I could say illustration. Because there's a lot of different things, not just talking about the shape of a person. Listen, sis, we got you sometimes. Oh, okay. But like based off the shape of a person, the color of a person, there's individuals who judge people based off the color of their eyes or the way that their hair is. I mean, even with our community, there's some people who see people who are albino as a negative, as like a demon or a negative thing. And I'm just like, why do we focus so much on how others look? Why do we put so much energy on the outside of us rather than looking at ourselves internally? We're so more focused on the media.
Because of the media.
What'd you say?
Y'all can't hear me. Oh, y'all hear me. I was just because of the media. It's perception. Like I said, it's what we subscribe to based on the construct on what beauty is or what healthy is. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to facing the facts versus the fiction, well, people like us, and we've seen it, it doesn't hold water. I was gonna say before I got a call from my wife, was that I got a story like that too, Lee. When I was in the military in Germany, there was this dude who looked like he was 9 months pregnant, okay? And he was a staff sergeant. And I remember my sergeant was trying to yell at him because he was like, hey, put your headgear on, and he's like, it's not raining outside. And he's like, are you not gonna listen? This dude jumped up, all right, and started doing 25 pull-ups, like continuous, right? Then he jumped back down and he had a green beret. And he said, "Do not talk to me. Do not talk to me." And I'm like, first of all, I didn't. The fact that he was a Green Beret, I'm like, yep. It doesn't matter what you look like. No, all the Green Berets aren't these big macho. No, this guy looked like he was 9 months pregnant, drunk 40 beers, and just woke up and put on a uniform. And he out pull up any pull ups I can do in my life, and I'm in pretty good shape. So yeah, no, the guy was a savage, fucking savage.
Looks can be deceiving. I mean, I've seen individuals out there who are straight killers and they dress like a freaking soccer dad.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
pot belly and everything, beer belly and everything. Yep.
Ooh, they have honed their skills. Like I remember one time I went to Muay Thai training back in Washington State, and this one guy came in, kind of described like you. He looked like the Michelin tire guy, to be honest. Like he was a heavier set, tall, and invisible. I mean, like it was ridiculous. Like I mean, in all honesty, if he was like pale, he would have been Pillsbury Doughboy. Like I would have been so tempted to poke him in the step belly button just to hear him go, like
right.
I mean, when I tell you this dude did a head kick on the bag that was so powerful, and I was holding the bag, I was like, this dude got tree trunks that are heavier than mine.
Yes.
I was like, his speed is up there to the point where if I wanted to dodge it, I would have had to be Neo from the Matrix. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
Like, bro, this is, you cannot judge somebody.
Right.
Because in all honesty, I feel sorry for anybody who was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna try and rob this dude. Man, he probably would have punched a hole in your chest, ripped your heart out, and held it while it was pumping. I was like, that's a bad thing.
And
he has 3 black belts.
What you're saying?
Ishiru crossed
3 black belts. Yes. He wanted to. He decided to get into Muay Thai because he was like, I'm all right with kicks, but I want to get better. I was like, dude, you got 3 black belts. Like,
sure. You can never be too dangerous. I respect that. You can never be too dangerous. Piggyback on the question you were asking earlier, Lee, is why do we subscribe to that when we know that that's not the truth? And that's, again, it's because of what society has deemed it to be as truth. When the truth it's not.
Yes.
And more times when you see that, I think what bothers me is that when we continue to see that, even though we continue to see that, we're still shocked and amazed by it. You know, I think that's the part that I feel a little disappointed in myself. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think in America, obesity is a real crisis. And because of that, we do assume that if a person is overweight, that they're unhealthy, because it is a real disastrous thing here in the U.S. That leads on to a lot of other diseases. So I think it's kind of fair that people could have that perspective of someone that is seemingly overweight. And I get it. And as far as us as a people, you were talking about, Danley, why we pay attention to the outside. That's what we come from. You look at those tribal people, they all look the same. We're used to being able to look at a person and be like, oh, you're related to so-and-so. Even, in our community.
Got their nose.
You so-and-so grandbaby, ain't you? So that's what we come from. And then they also profited off of that with Maury and Jerry Springer and Who's the Daddy. No other group of people can really relate to looking at appearance to determine who a daddy is. That's all us. And then, us coming from different places, coming off of those ships or whatever, we had to, you're from the Igbo, or you're from the so-and-so. We would look at the scars. That we come from physical identity. If I'm wearing leopard skin, that says something about who I am. So that's just where we come from. It does not have to be traumatic. It doesn't have to be whitewashed. That's just who we are.
What's up, man?
And for the most part, when you talk about weight, the Ishiru karate dispels literally all of what everyone's saying as a stereotype, and they call it a lazy man's karate because everything is close quarters. Everything's inside. So you draw a person into you, and you completely break them down. They're like, "What? You look like you weigh 100,000 pounds." It just took me to my knees, but it dispels the idea that you're an easy win when somebody rolls in on you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's all perception until you get in there, you get worked
Yeah.
like a new job.
I get
Until it's
it.
real.
I have a personal trainer, and he like to pair me with people that's small. And they be looking at me like, why? You could just kind of tell, like, why you pair me with this fat bitch?
Right.
And we put our gloves on, and he put on
Right.
that timer. We gotta go a minute and 30 seconds, and they going in, and I'm punching hard. I'm on the 100-pound bag, and I'm going in, and they like, this fat bitch ain't done.
Right.
And I'm like, come on.
That's all you got. Come on, let's go. I mean, hey, in all honesty, I think
I know exactly what you mean.
That's one of the most motivating things. Like when you see somebody and they don't fit the stereotype of what they look like, and they're the ones that's motivating everybody else. Like, let's keep going. Man, I tell you, I be loving that in the gym. When you got the bigger people, I'm not fat, I'm fluffy, well insulated, all weather built. But no, true talking.
It's inspiring. No, it's inspiring. It's 100%.
What I'm gonna say though, like when it comes down to it, we look at somebody who may be overweight or somebody who has what's up, girly? A lot of times we just think like, okay, most people would think like they're fat or they're unhealthy. But you got to think about it too. There's a lot of people who are just inflamed. There's a lot of people who are inflamed.
That's true.
And where you at? You're like dead in the middle. I don't know which way to turn. Hey, girl, you going to bed? Yeah. All right. Sleep well, okay?
Everybody, I apologize. Listen, I apologize. I have to get going. For some reason, my phone isn't charging. But y'all take care of yourselves. I look forward to talking to y'all again. And until the next time.
Respect. Thank you. But yeah, I'm like, a lot of it can also be inflammation. It's not always a diet thing. They could have issues internally. They could be doing everything right, but there could be something that is wrong with them internally.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of people who are holding on to weight based off of stress too.
Right.
Yeah, but diet can still have a role in that. Diet has a role in almost everything. If you're inflamed, diet. Yeah. So.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're unhealthy. There just could be certain things that maybe what they're eating goes against what they're supposed to be eating. So I mean, they might not necessarily be unhealthy. It's just their body may be acting. I just lost the word. Why am I having so many brain farts today? Their body may be reacting to it in a negative way because of the fact that that's not what they're supposed to put in their body. I mean, look at us. There's a lot of things that we eat that we should not be eating based off the fact that that's what we have that's available.
I guess.
I mean, not everybody can go overseas and find certain things or ship things to them. So, I mean, look at this. The history that we have here in America when it comes down to soul food. That was the scraps that were given to us. They made what they could out of what was given to them. And now it became a delicacy. A lot of us are killing ourselves because of the fact that is what has turned into our culture, our history.
I disagree with that too. When it comes to the slave food idea. Because we've been eating innards and organs. There's no part of the animal that would go to waste where we're from. Not one part. So I guess there could be a such thing as eating too much of certain things.
Overindulgence.
That can be unhealthy, but chitlins and stuff like that, we've been eating that. That's not a slave. It
smells so bad, but it tastes so good. Like, I'm not knocking the food, but yeah, I can see that, the overindulgence. Because I mean, too much of anything good can be bad for you, right?
But the thing is, our ancestors was eating it, and they weren't overweight, and a lot of times they wasn't unhealthy because of their diet. And I think a part of it is those long hours of work.
I was about to say I was gonna wait and be like, you gotta think about it. They was in the sun, they was sweating, they was moving heavy things, they was constantly working out. So
absolutely.
The metabolism was definitely
and a lot of fasting. That's we talk about intermittent fasting. They wasn't eating 3-4 meals a day. They were fasting out there working.
Do you think that was forced upon them, or was that voluntary?
I guess it would depend on the conditions. because there's certain stories or songs that exist in our culture where we talk about sneaking and having pieces of meat or something to chew on or whatever in our pocket or in mama's breast or whatever it may be. So
is that why so many women be like sneaking food in their purse and all that stuff?
absolutely.
I remember used to judge my grandma back in the day. I think we went to was it Cracker Barrel or Golden Corral? And she like put some biscuits in a napkin in her purse. I was like, it's all you can eat buffet. Like, what are you doing?
You gonna give me my ration? I paid for it. Cause what's the difference of me eating it now or later? I mean, it's gonna get ate either way.
Oh man, the stereotypes. But okay, I guess it's in our genes then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, everything doesn't have to be trauma based. You know, there's no group of people that is perfect, and there's just certain ways that we have that still stick, and because of the conditions, it could kind of work against us in some ways. But you know, it is what it is.
Well, I enjoyed this. It is 9:00. I'm gonna allow everybody to. Well, it's just us right now. I hear Mr. Sig Luna right outside the door.
He's coming back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hear him outside the door. I heard him laughing for a second. I was like, yeah. But I'll go ahead and let you go. I thank you for joining on. Now, you gave a lot of good information. If you can, if there's anything else that you can think of, because I got the collective diaspora, the Black Coalition, Brilliance, Good Feed, Spill Lab, and Collective Courage. If there's anything else that I can possibly get from you, if you can text it to me, I'll do the work and find the links and all that stuff. I want to put that in with the show notes as well. What I'm going to start doing is, matter of fact, let me end this and talk to you offline, all right?
Okay, cool.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.